came across positive intelligence about 3 years ago, and I thought it was going to be a fantastic way for me to help the speakers that I work with every day to overcome their nerves and manage their emotions when they were presenting, to create them a stronger mindset. And it certainly has done that. But it's been so much more than that. It's really changed my life, and I know it has. I've watched it change the lives of many of the speakers and other clients I've ended up sharing positive intelligence with in those 3 years. And so this video is designed just to share a little bit about positive intelligence, to see if it's something that you may want to consider yourself. Positive intelligence is simply a simple operating system designed to help you increase your mental fitness. And when I talk about mental fitness, what do I mean? Well, I mean your capacity to respond to the challenges in life with a positive rather than a negative mindset. I'm sure that in and of itself is something that feels like something you'd like to be able to do more readily. I know that from working with many senior executives and just from my own personal experience, that however much you want to stay in control of your mind and your thoughts and the way that you're feeling, life's challenges get on top of us. Things come up at work, conflicts arise, problems with family, friends, health, all kinds of things get in our way. And we quite often look back with hindsight and wish that we'd said something differently, responded differently. And we can often spend far too much time in a negative mindset of worry, of stress, of anxiety, of sadness, of fear. And positive intelligence is all about how to spend more time in the positive side of your brain. Now, you might be asking yourself, negative emotions good for you? I would say in the same way, think about, you're right, there is a good reason to have negative emotions. We're not looking at kind of toxic positivity here. I often suggest thinking about it in the same terms as pain. Like, pain's good for you in that if you touch a hot stove like this, the pain tells you to take your hand away. And with negative emotions, the same thing is true. We get these situations where we're able to, the negative emotion is giving us a signal that we should be doing something about a problem or a challenge that we want to change. The challenge is, just like with a hot stove, if we keep our hand on that hot stove and we stay in that negative emotion, then all that is really doing is causing us more anxiety, worry, fear, doubt, stress, all of those negative emotions. Staying in that place is not a great thing to be doing. So, how does positive intelligence help you with that? Well, first of all, using the information, the research that has gone into this, they've identified that at the root cause of those kinds of negative emotions, there are really 10 different saboteurs in our minds that we tend to be struggling with. Now, the master saboteur that almost everybody has is the judge. And the judge is constantly telling us, judging what we're doing, judging other people, judging the circumstances we're in, and causing us sometimes to be making assumptions based on things that simply aren't true. Alongside that judge saboteur, there are 9 accomplice saboteurs, and you can see them on the screen here. And everybody has 1 or 2 of these saboteurs, if not more, that are working really strongly to make their lives difficult. And the first thing that positive intelligence helps you to do is identify what these saboteurs are for you, and just to recognize them in the moment when they're happening. The other side of the brain, where we want to be spending more time, that positive side of the brain, in positive intelligence, they call that the sage side of the brain. And there are 5 sage powers. So in any challenge or circumstance, you've got the opportunity to respond in a negative or a positive way. The negative ways we've just seen, the idea of positive intelligence is to get to a place where you can respond more frequently with the more positive side of your brain using one of these five sage powers: empathize, explore, innovate, navigate, activate. It's all about taking clear, calm-headed, focused action in a way that feels good and doesn't feel difficult as you're doing it. Now, the the really key thing here is the results of this factor analysis research that's gone into positive intelligence shows us that there are really three core muscles at the root of mental fitness that we need to be working on. And that is what they call the saboteur interceptor. So recognizing those saboteurs, where am I most often sabotaging myself? And how can I then also learn on building my sage so that not only do I recognize that, but I start to build my sage powers and how do I use them more effectively. But most importantly, I think the difference in what I've learned through positive intelligence is what we call self-command. And it's that ability that in the moment, not 2 hours later when it's too late, but in the moment, how is it possible then for you to actually self-command and change your thoughts and choose to take the sage approach over the saboteur approach? Now, the way that we learn how to do that in positive intelligence is to build up a daily habit of what we call 10-second PQ reps. So something that's really easy to do in the moment, simply 10 seconds at a time. We can be doing these very small mental exercises that enable us to get control of our brains and to take the positive over the negative choice. Now, we call them reps. PQ is short for positive intelligence. Reps is just the same as the physical exercises that you might do in the gym that increase your physical fitness. The idea is that you're doing these regular 10-second reps in your mind with your brain to enable you to build this positivity in your brain and this ability to be able to calm yourself and take the positive action in the time that you need to do that. Now, just like in the gym, you can't go and do a couple of reps and expect to become a big muscly person. So what we do is we're looking at building up this over time, creating daily habits where you're including these very, very short mental exercises all the time. And the wonderful thing that positive intelligence gives you is an opportunity to take a 7-week app-based program, which starts to really help you with the practice that enables this to happen. So there's an app on your phone. For 7 weeks, it's 1 hour every weekend of content, of insight, and then every single day, somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes of daily practice in short kind of 2-minute bite-sized chunks throughout the day. Now, if that's of interest to you and you would like to be living more in the sage side of your brain, in the positive side, taking cool, clear, calm-headed action that feels good to you, rather than being driven by the sabotaging thoughts that really aren't helping you, I'd love to tell you more about this. So please do get in touch.